name is NADZIRAH SHAZANA binti Abdul Malik, ID student 2021108581, and we are from Group 5.
Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is AQILAH RAIHANA binti Muhammad Nazir, and I'm from class N5 BA 111-2B.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is AINZATUL SYAHIERA binti Maroni. My ID student is 2021111093.
My name is IRMAWATI binti Muhammad Sapi'i, and my ID student is 2021108723.
My name is Nik Nur Aisyah binti Manara Zaman. I am from class BA 111-2B.
Economic has been defined as a social science that can study human behavior in an attempt to reconcile unlimited material needs with the relative scarcity of available resources. The study of how individuals and societies interallocate their limited resources to try to meet their unlimited wants. There are three basic economic concepts, which are scarcity, choice, and opportunity cost. Briefly, the scarcity is that it doesn't have enough resources to satisfy all that is desired. Factor of production according to economic resources are land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship. Scarcity arises due to limited resources and unlimited wants. The choice is that when there is a shortage to meet the unlimited human wants, a choice must be made and need to choose the option that can provide maximum capacity gain. Opportunity cost is something or the second best alternative that has to be let go and sacrificed for a choice that was made before for a choice that gives more satisfaction. Is it also known as the actual cost of goods? An example of opportunity cost is Alia has 50 ringgit and she wants to buy a shirt that costs 35 ringgit and a pair of shoes that cost 48 ringgit. So Alia has to choose one of the items, either a shirt or a pair of shoes, to satisfy her needs. If Alia chooses a pair of shoes, then a shirt is the opportunity cost, which is the second best alternative she has to live. The production possibility curve PPC is used to describe the basic economic concepts of scarcity, choice, and opportunity cost. PPC can show a wide range of possible combination of two goods and services produced in a given time with resources used inadequately efficiently. As for assumption, among which producing two goods, fixed resources, fit technology, and producing at full employment. In addition, the type of PPC depends on the opportunity cost, and there are three types of PPC, namely increased opportunity cost, decreased opportunity cost, and constant opportunity cost. Increasing opportunity cost. To get another unit of goods, more other units of goods have to be sacrificed. The slope is concave from the original. Decreasing opportunity cost. To get another unit of goods, fewer other units of goods have to be sacrificed. The shape of PPC convex to the original. Constant opportunity cost. When there is an additional production of one product, the same number of other products has to be sacrificed. The shape of PPC is linear.
Hello, so right now we are gonna tell you about summary of the related issue, okay, about coronavirus and MC. Okay, Coronavirus, or we call as COVID-19, is an infection disease caused by a newly discovered coronavirus. Okay, the first case reported was in December 2019 in Wuhan, China. The virus attacks humans in different ways. Okay, so the symptoms of this virus are fever, tuberculosis, and fatigue. Okay, for the elderly, children, and people with critical illness such as heart problems, diabetes, chronic respiratory problems, and cancer are at high risk for infection. Okay, so I'm gonna end about serious symptoms. Okay, serious symptoms include difficulty breathing, or shortness breathing. It's shortness of breath. Okay, chest pain or a feeling of pressure in the chest, and limited movement. Okay, so COVID-19 is transmitted through human respiratory particle transmission and contact. When in close proximity to patients who have symptoms, particle transmission will easily occur when their mouths and nose are exposed. Particle transmission will also easily occur in the area around the patient. Okay, so I tell about MCO right now. Okay, this virus is also the one that is sweeping the whole world. Okay, many big effects are happening in one country after another. Okay, in Malaysia, this virus be prevented by the implementation of the Movement Control Order. Okay, the Malaysian Government Movement Control Order, or known as MCO, or as Malaysian we call PKP, is one of the national quarantine and sanitation measures implemented by the Malaysian federal government in response to the COVID-19 pandemic in the country from 2020 to 2021. Okay, the order is commonly referred to in the local media and internationally as a lockdown. Okay, the PKP includes restrictions of international movement, assembly, and travel, and mandates the closure of business, industry, government, and educational institutions to curb the spread of the virus. Okay. I think that's it for my summary of the related issue. Thank you.
I am going to present about my part, which is discussion for opportunity costs faced by employer and employee in the tourism industry of Malaysia during the implementation of Movement Control Order due to COVID-19 outbreaks in 2020 and 2021. So this tourism industry happened when people can come travel to Malaysia, staying in place outside their usual environment. It makes this sector in close confines and requires face-to-face service. But because of the COVID-19, the Malaysia tourism sector has suffered disproportionately relative to other because of the MCO, where COVID-19 can infect travelers. Tourists cannot travel to make sure no COVID infection occur. Okay, first of all, employer. Employer is the organization or company which put to works, employ or hire the service to the employee. So this is a PPC, which is an increasing opportunity cost. It is in the form of a concave. So increasing opportunity cost mean in order to get one more unit of good, more unit of good would have to sacrifice. So based on this PPC, it showed that the opportunity cost faced by employer in the tourism industry, which is X is MCO and Y is income. The movement of all of the point along the PPC is called opportunity cost. So how many income does the employer can get during the MCO? Which means how many opportunity costs that the employer had to forego for the first week of MCO. So first, employer can get 100,000 of income, but when the MCO start due to COVID-19 disease, it can cost the opportunity cost for the first week about 10,000 of income. Because of that, the employer had to forego 10,000 for the first week of MCO, so the employer can get 19,000 of income. After that, the more MCO, the more income they had to forgo. So next is employee. So the employee is a person who works for an organization or a company on a part-time or full-time basis and receive compensation for the service rendered in form of salary or commission. Because of this COVID-19, it affects all the jobs in the tourism industry. This led to several business owners making the critical decision of commission cut for employees to ensure sustenance of their business. Such an arrangement is acceptable if it is negotiated and agreed upon by both parties. So considering the COVID-19 outbreak followed by the implementation of the MCO by the government, the employee is required to work from home, and if the employee complies with this issue to stay at home, then the commission is the opportunity cost, which is they had to forgo. So the employee can get 100 commission, but when the MCO start due to COVID-19 disease, the employee must work from home, and it can cost the opportunity cost for the first week about 10 of commission. Because of that, the employee had to forgo 10 for the first week of MCO, so the employee can get only 19 of commission.
Based on the PPC above, it shows that the opportunity cost faced by employer in the transportation industry, which is on the x-axis is movement control order MCO and y-axis is income. During the implementation of the movement control order MCO, the decline in demand for public transport was also due to people's concerns about the risk of infection. The setting of new norms such as social distance has also limited the number of passengers per trip. As a result, some companies had to struggle to avoid greater financial losses. Some had to sell assets or lay off employees and their service. Next, transportation revenues dropped significantly. Therefore, transport workers' wages were deducted. Other transport workers were laid off, and some transport companies closed to bankruptcy. Based on the PPC above, it shows that the opportunity cost faced by employee in the transportation industry, which is on the x-axis is movement control order MCO and y-axis is salary. Employee has lost their jobs due to being laid off. This is because the employer cannot afford to pay the salary to the employee. When the government implemented the movement control order MCO, most of the workers were unemployed and unable to support themselves and their families. In addition, some transportation companies cut employee salaries because transportation company earnings have declined. Employees who lose their jobs has experienced emotional stress due to losing the jobs, but there are some of them making their own business to cover daily expenses.
The conclusion that we get after doing this report is COVID-19 and Movement Control Order MCO has affected humans all around the world. Apart from maintaining health and personal hygiene, and in order to avoid getting COVID-19 infection during the Movement Control Order, we also have to take care of the future of ourselves and family. In 2020 and 2021, so many people have lost their job because of the economy in the world of coronavirus that got worse at that time. And employers had to lay off their employees to escape from losses. As a result, employees having a struggle to support their family in finance. For example, in tourism and transportation industry, they have faced a lot of problems during Movement Control Order MCO. For us, government needs to take action to overcome this situation, and they did help them with allow people from the green zones can travel to the other green zones, but they still have to follow the SOPs. Tourism and transportation industry also makes such an offers such as vouchers, discount and cash rebates that will bring direct impact to travelers. In 2020, many hotels are facing struggling to survive after 60% tourism business will lose. This such an offer can actually help them to continue the business in what they are doing. The biggest challenge will be to restore the trust of domestic and foreign tourists. So that is why, after the cases of COVID-19 decrease, government introduced the campaign that can help the economy and also help the tourism and transportation industry. We, as a Malaysian citizen, also need to be concerned about it due to the economy. With that, we can be participated by travel in our own country with family and friends with tight SOPs.